Have you ever laid on the grass at night and just stared up at all the stars? It kind of looks like they're sparkling or even winking at you, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to be cosmic detectives and solve the mystery of why they do that. So, let's get right to it. What is really going on up there? I mean, why do these giant faraway balls of burning gas look like they're putting on a little light show just for us? Okay, here is the first huge clue in our mystery. Get this. If you were an astronaut floating way out there in space, you would see that stars don't twinkle one bit. Nope, they shine with a super steady, constant light. So, if the star isn't twinkling, something else has to be causing it. To solve this, we need to follow a teeny tiny beam of starlight on its amazing, epic journey, all the way from a super distant star right to your eyes here on Earth. First off, that little bit of starlight travels across a distance that's just mind-bogglingly huge. We're talking trillions of kilometers of cold, empty space, and for that entire super long trip, that beam of light is just zipping along in a perfectly straight line, shining steadily the whole time. So this light travels all the way across the universe, perfectly straight, perfectly steady, until the very last second of its trip. So what is it? What's the final thing it bumps into right before it gets to us? What could possibly be getting in the way? And here we go. The final piece of our puzzle isn't out in deep space. Not at all. It's right here, wrapped around our planet like a big, invisible blanket. Let's unmask the real culprit. You got it. The reason stars seem to twinkle is because of the air all around us, our atmosphere. It's basically a giant, invisible, and really wobbly window that sits between us and the rest of the universe. Now, the science word for this is refraction. I know, it sounds complicated, but it's actually so simple. It just means that light bends when it goes through stuff, like water or air. And you've totally seen this before. You know when you put a straw in a glass of water and it looks all bent and broken? That's it. That's refraction. Okay, so here's the thing. Our atmosphere isn't just one smooth, still layer of air. Not even close. It's more like a giant, invisible soup that's always moving and swirling. It's got warm spots and cool spots all mixed together, and when the starlight travels through them, it gets bent this way and that way, over and over again. Here's a really cool way to picture it. Imagine you're looking at a candle on the other side of a swimming pool, through all that wavy water. The flame would look like it was dancing and wiggling all over the place, wouldn't it? Well, that is exactly what our atmosphere is doing to that tiny dot of starlight. But hold on, our detective work isn't done. There is another clue hiding in plain sight that pretty much proves we've cracked the case. Think about it for a sec. On some nights, you can see planets like Venus or Jupiter shining really bright in the sky. But have you ever noticed they don't really twinkle? They just have this calm, steady glow. So what's up with that? Why don't they twinkle? Well, it all comes down to this. Stars are so far away that to us they look like just one tiny little pinpoint of light. So any little wobble in our atmosphere makes that whole dot seem to jump and sparkle. But planets, they're way closer. So instead of a dot, they look like a tiny disk. The atmosphere is still making their light wiggle for sure, but all those little wiggles kind of cancel each other out across the whole disk. And what we see is just a nice, steady glow. So now you can be a sky detective. The next time you're outside at night, just pick a bright light up in the sky. Stare at it for a couple seconds. If you see it sparkling and twinkling, you can go, aha, that's a star. But if it's shining with a solid, steady light, you've probably just found yourself a planet. How cool is that? Now for us, twinkling is really pretty. But for scientists who are trying to take pictures of stars, all that wobbling can be a real problem. It makes their photos all blurry. So how do they get a nice, clear look? They have two super clever tricks. First, they just send their telescopes up into space, above all that wobbly air. That's what the famous Hubble Space Telescope does. Or, and this is really neat, for telescopes on the ground, they use these super smart mirrors that can actually change their shape hundreds of times every second to basically unwobble the starlight as it comes in. So, we figured out the science behind the twinkle, but you know what? That doesn't make it any less magical. Let's just think about this cosmic wink one last time. When you really stop and think about it, that twinkling light might have been traveling for thousands or even millions of years all the way across the universe. And then, in the very last moment of its long journey, our own sky gets to playfully juggle it around, just before it lands in your eye. I just love this way of seeing it. It's not really the star that's winking at you, it's our own home planet Earth, just adding a little bit of extra sparkle to the incredible view of the universe. So the next time you look up at those beautiful, sparkling stars, you'll know the secret of their twinkle. And, it just makes you wonder, what other amazing secrets is the night sky hiding up there, just waiting for a curious detective like you to discover them? So keep looking up,